As I'm here making my tea today, it's my favorite, shiny things, green and oolong. Man, I am over here contemplating my disabilities. I usually am like very high functioning in the world, and I feel like when you have a child, it's like it's like a disability. It adds disability. Honestly, it's like playing the game of golf and where they give you handicap because you're working with more issues. When they acknowledge that you've got more issues going on, that's what parenting is for me. It's taken me from high functioning to disabling. Oh my gosh. And then I was just reflecting on the issues I have with technology. I am really struggling, y'all. I am trying to get yoga videos out in a group that I've started because that's where my heart is. I love doing it. But the moment I start having to like put what I do onto a computer or onto the internet, there's something there that's blocking it. And I don't think it's all me. I think that it's all me because everything is all us all the time, right? But also I'm affecting the technology in a way. It's like I'm working with outdated software. If you will, my software is very outdated. In my last relationship, one thing that we did well is that we helped each other in ways that were our strengths. And my ex was the technology guy, real talk. And we were together like 7 or 8 years. I'm not really good with time. Sorry for anybody who's big on anniversaries. Time is a spectrum. It's an illusion. It's a lot of things to me. Anyway, the time we were together, I didn't have to do any technology. And I got really far behind. And now it's like 13 years later from the last time I really seriously had to use computers or a phone. I don't even have a tablet. I've never had a tablet. And I've been around for the whole life of internet. I started with dial-up internet, okay? Where we had to sit, and we were in the country. So it wasn't like it would just like come online. We had the CD we started with. Anyway, in the country, we could sit there for 20 minutes and wait for the internet to come on. Real talk. So that's me in technology, and I've been getting myself in a really like headspace because like I have so much wisdom to share, but I cannot make this shit work. It's so bad, you guys. This every single time. It is like having a disability. The other thing is I do have a disability. I have PTSD. And winter months are real big flare-ups, and I can manage the how I show up in the world pretty well because I see a higher perspective in life. It doesn't get me down for many months, or I could go 6 or 9 months and never see a positive space. Now it's like I have moments where I'm like, oh, cringe, but then I see, oh, it's okay, I'm safe here, I'm all right. In fact, I've got a lot of beauty in my life, and I'm very blessed in life, right? So it is this conversation that has to be had with oneself, but there's management there, and the other piece of that management is that the mind is affected by the body. And if my nervous system does not feel regulated, if it does not feel safe, then my mind's not going to. The mind will follow suit. So, accessing a nervous system can happen in a few different ways. We can use meditation. We can use moving the body. We can use writing. Things that start to slow us down and get us into a place of being in our body and feeling safe in our body. And I can imagine that a lot of people in the US feel some sort of disconnection with their body or escape from it. Anybody who's had trauma has some sort of, let's say, interesting dynamic with the body, because there's a messaging system that goes between the mind and the body, and the neurons firing, and it's all quite complex when it comes to the psychology of it all. But the point being, technology sucks. That's how I feel in my heart of hearts. I love it because this is where people are. And I love that we can all come together in a communal space. But navigating it for me, if I have to do anything besides push start and stop and upload, like, at this moment, being a parent and trying to be a present parent, and also trying to survive financially and physically, and, you know, like all the things that parents have to do. Any parent, this goes for any parent, mother or father. It is our sole responsibility to get this child into adulthood. And there's a lot of shit in the world that is questionable in the least, right? There's a lot of ugly in the world, even evil. I do think. There was this movie a long time ago, for some of you a long time ago, called A Ripple in Time. It actually was made off of the book A Ripple in Time, if you've ever read it. And the thing about the book, if you read books, I was just reflecting on, you know, books versus movies. I don't think I ever read the book, The Ripple in Time. Maybe I will put that on my reading list. I've got a couple going right now. But the movie, in this movie, we saw like this dark energy, and it sunk into the hearts and the bodies of people. It took people over. And it's very metaphorical, and actual, and also quite literal. Everything is energy. And so the energies are colliding all of the time, or interacting, right? Sometimes there's homeostasis in an environment, this balance, but that's not always true. And being the parent while also regulating our own nervous systems, it's a lot. So if you are struggling out there, know that you are not alone. This is a lot. And I'm high functioning. This is a lot. But here I am. I'm just going to share thoughts with you. And today's thought is, I've got a handicap in technology. But my intention is to be with you right here. It's just that I cringe every time I gotta put it up. And it's this like roller coaster for me of like, here I am. I'm present with you and I'm enjoying this. And then I go and sit down and I try to like put it up on the computer and it doesn't work. And so I walk away for like 4 days and then it gets buried and I never share it. That's the cycle that's been going. So I'm going to share this one. And if you're hearing me, then I did what I said I would do. And we keep taking steps every day, showing up in our families, showing up for our kids. Man, that's the one thing about being a parent. There's a lot of you out there who don't have kids, and congratulations, because You're kind of on vacation right now. Not fully true, but it's a totally different lifestyle, and I know because I've lived it. I didn't have my son until I was 38, so until 37, I was alone and alive. I was enjoying life and doing all the things. That's why I say you really are on vacation. But for those of us with the children, first of all, being able to be a witness to that, to see like this is a whole human growing here, you know, and then to be a participant in that, and then to be an active guide in that. Man, we are guides. We are in charge of these children and what they become in the world. And if we're so distracted by somebody talking to you for 10 minutes, like myself, then we'll miss those moments with our kids. So yeah, that is a heavy and brilliant responsibility if we can create more space for it. I notice the only times that I'm short with my son are when I feel pressure from the outside world. When I feel pressure to respond to an email or to a text or check on something or all of the things that I've said yes to in the world, because I feel it my way of helping, creating good in the world. But sometimes I put just a little too much pressure on. So, when I'm able to let go of that pressure, it's so wonderful having kids. They're bright and often funny, very rebellious. But sometimes we need those reminders, you know, of what it's like to be a little rebellious. To push back when something doesn't feel right or look right. Ooh, yeah. The children be teaching. All right, I'm gonna be quiet. Go be with your kids. Or a friend. Be a witness to a friend. That's the other thing that not having children allowed me to do when I was younger, is really connect with people. There's some really cool humans out here, y'all. I don't have the time to be with everybody, but you should meet some of them. Some people with some really good stories and some cool lived lives. Today, and I swear this is my last story. Today I'm in a line dance troupe, like an urban line dance. And it's a sisterhood, all ages. And I mean all ages. One of my teammates this morning, she went with us. So we went to this senior living home. They're apartments. And we line danced with them. We taught them some line dances. And there was this woman there. And I didn't even ask her age. She was probably late 70s, maybe 80s. And she was dancing with me. She was like petite. But look, I'm a sociologist, so I clock everything. You may not see things, but I'm very observant. So I'm watching this lady dancing, and she's just like dancing free. She's not in line with everything, but she's right there dancing. And she was just as free as can be. And I noticed on her back, she had a similar tattoo as mine, like sticking out of her shoulder. Like mine, you can only see just a little bit, and the rest is below. And then I get to talking with her, and she's like, I'm an old hussy or something like that. I was like, you and I was like, I feel like I'm witnessing my older self one day. I just had this connection with her. And if I didn't choose to go and be in community, to go and be in sisterhood, I would have never met this woman. Now, I haven't even heard her story. But just to be a witness, right? Just to be like, I'm enjoying watching this existence. It's a really cool thing if we start to see people. I hang out with a lot of artists, so I get that opportunity more often than most, but you could do it too. Going to art galleries and just looking at it like, that's really cool. Just be in awe of people and things, or be curious about meeting somebody. It really changes the whole experience if you take it off of yourself and onto learning or getting to know somebody else. Well, there you go. That's my Mr. Rogers sermon of the day. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a brilliant day.